Todd said it plain, they buried the facts. I watched that room move like a trap. Smiles on.
So what happens when you call the police for help, and the very system that's supposed to protect you decides to punish you instead? Today, we're going to break down how a simple report about a stolen car in Bibb County, Georgia, led to a 72-day civil rights ordeal for one man, Stephen Todd Faircloth. This is the story of how a victim became a target. It all kicks off with a moment any of us could have. You walk outside, you look at your driveway, and your car is just gone. You do what you're supposed to do, you call for help. But for Mr. Faircloth, that call wasn't the start of some routine investigation. Nope, it was the beginning of an absolute nightmare that has put an entire institution on trial. Now, before we get into the how or the why of it all, I just want you to sit with this number for a second. 72 days. That's almost 2.5 months. That's how long a man, the victim of a crime, mind you, spent locked up. And, as we're going to see, it wasn't because of evidence, but because he just wouldn't stop asking questions. To really get how this all went down, we're going to follow the evidence and answer some really crucial questions. First up, how did the victim end up being treated like the suspect? Then, we'll look at the machinery of retaliation that was pointed right at him, the shocking conditions inside the jail, the profit motive that might have been fueling this whole thing, and finally, we'll lay out the case for a total systemic failure. Okay, so our story begins on April 4th, 2022. Stephen Faircloth does exactly what you or I would do. He reports his Honda Accord stolen. He even gives them the names of the people he thinks did it. He was expecting a totally routine investigation. What he got was something else entirely. This right here, this is the exact moment things went off the rails. The case file even calls it the original sin. I mean, within minutes of his 911 call, this high-priority investigation gets downgraded. And the reason? A huge conflict of interest. The dispatcher was related to one of the suspects. So instead of investigating the crime, she runs a criminal history check on the victim, Mr. Faircloth. Justice was completely obstructed before it even had a chance to start. And this is where the story really takes a turn. See, when Faircloth figured out his case was being totally ignored, he didn't just let it go. He kept calling. He kept asking questions. And that's when the system allegedly went from being just negligent to being actively hostile. This timeline just lays out the pattern of escalation so clearly. Just 2 days after the theft, Faircloth finds his own car, but dispatch sends a deputy to the wrong address. A week later, a Sergeant Inzar allegedly threatens him with jail time just for following up. Then you fast forward and it all leads to him being arrested on this trumped-up attempted extortion charge. And get this, he was arrested 16 hours before a warrant for that arrest even existed. This quote from Faircloth's own affidavit just puts you right there in that moment. As he's being driven to jail, he's telling the arresting officer, hey, what you're doing is illegal. This wasn't some simple misunderstanding. From his point of view, this was a completely wrongful arrest, all designed to shut him up. But the retaliation didn't stop once he got to the jail. Nope. Once inside, Faircloth alleges there was an incident of excessive force. He says he was already completely subdued. We're talking face down on the ground, arms behind his back, when an officer tased him. And it turns out, body camera footage captured what happened. All right, here at the 5-second mark, you can see Mr. Faircloth is on the ground. You've got multiple officers physically restraining him. He is clearly not a threat. I mean, from this position, you can see they've already got a high degree of control. Then the camera angle shifts, and we see the restraint is still going on. His arms are pinned behind his back. He is completely overpowered, and it's in this context that a taser was used. And here we go again, another angle showing the exact same thing, a subdued individual under the total control of several officers. This visual evidence is absolutely central to the excessive force claim, an event that was documented on camera, but it still happened. So Faircloth is now trapped inside this system, and his case doesn't just expose his own wrongful arrest. It cracks open a window into the dangerous, decaying state of the Bibb County Jail itself, a place inmates apparently call the hellhole. The documented conditions really paint a grim picture. We're talking about a chronic, widespread failure of the magnetic cell door locks. So bad, in fact, that 4 inmates were later able to just push a gate open and escape. On top of that, you've got severe overcrowding, reports of maggots in the drains, and inmates who could cover up cameras to carry out assaults. This wasn't just a little neglect. It was a hazardous environment, and it seems like everyone knew it. And that brings us to a really big question. If the conditions, especially those failing locks, were so bad and so well known, why in the world wasn't anything done about it? Well, to answer that, you have to follow the money. So let's just ask it directly.
You've got a known risk to public safety, a known risk to the guards and the inmates inside. Why was this just allowed to fester? What could possibly have been more important than fixing it?
The answer might just be this number: over $1.1 million. That's how much money the Bibb County Sheriff's Commissary Fund generates every single year from inmates buying things like snacks and toiletries.
And this isn't just some theory. We're looking right at an official county budget document for the commissary fund. Look at the description. It's right there in black and white. It says the proceeds are used to pay operating expenses and capital outlay costs of the jail. The money wasn't just sitting there. It was specifically meant for fixing problems exactly like the broken locks. But here's the crucial part. Internal documents literally call this fund a revenue engine. The jail was being treated like a profit center. And while this engine was humming along, those critical failing locks were just ignored. It was only after a huge public security failure, when 4 inmates walked out, that the money was finally spent. Until that happened, apparently the risk was acceptable.
This all takes us to our final section, where we're going to pull the lens back a bit. Because this case isn't just about one guy's arrest or one broken jail. It's about what the legal filings are calling an architecture of indifference. Basically, a culture of ignoring problems until they completely blow up. Just look at the crazy contrast on this slide. On the left, you've got an official award for a distinguished budget presentation. A nice pat on the back for good accounting. And on the right, you have the documented reality inside their jail. Maggots and broken locks. The official story and what was happening on the ground could not be further apart.
And this is where a key legal concept comes in. It's called Monell Liability. To put it simply, it means that if a civil rights violation isn't just because of one bad apple, but is actually caused by an official policy or just a widespread custom, the way things are done around here, then the entire institution, the county itself, can be held responsible.
And the evidence presented in this case alleges a deeply ingrained official custom, a custom of weaponizing arrests to retaliate against people, a custom of having no real internal accountability, where complaints are ignored and body camera footage just goes missing. All of this, the lawsuit argues, adds up to a policy of deliberate indifference that comes right from the top. Which leaves us all with a final, pretty sobering question. The systems we build are supposed to serve and protect us. But when their unwritten policy, their day-to-day custom, becomes one of indifference, who is actually left to protect the public from the institution itself?
Todd said it plain, they buried the facts. I watched that room move like a trap. Smiles on ice, hands in their lap. Big talk, small truth, it all came back. I kept receipts folded and stacked. Names in the folds, numbers on black. You saw that story, I bought none of that. Look in my face, I don't blink back. Too many locks, too many lies, too many doors, too many tries. You said forget it, I said nice try. The file stayed open all night. Heart said they buried the facts. I brought the read, I brought the read. Heart said they buried the facts. I brought it back, I brought it back. Hands on the table, say it like that. Heart said they buried the facts. I brought the read, I brought the read. Told me stay quiet, like I'd fold fast. But I heard footsteps under the ash. Paper trails cut right through the past. Coffee on the desk, time moving fast. You played clean, that was the act. One wrong look, and the mask cracked. You want my doubt, I want it back. I pull the thread, then I watch it snap. Too many locks, too many lies, too many doors, too many tries. You said forget it, I said nice try. The file stayed open all night. Todd said they buried the facts. I brought the read, I brought the read. Todd said they buried the facts. I brought it back, I brought it back. Hands on the table, say it like that. Todd said they buried the facts. I brought the read, I brought the read. Now the room goes still when I speak your name. Every last excuse tastes like blame. You built that wall I found the seam, truth came sharp like a broken beam. I don't need luck, I don't need fate. I got the page and I kept it safe. God said they buried the facts. I brought the read, I brought the read. God said they buried the facts. I brought it back, I brought it back. Hands on the table.